How's it going, movie watchers? Today we're going to be talking about the last film in the Venom trilogy, Venom The Last Dance. Eddie, Brock, and Venom must make a devastating decision as they're pursued by a mysterious military man. If I'm being honest, I'm really happy that this trilogy is over. I regard the Venom trilogy as a great premise and a lot of potential. But unfortunately, all three of the Venom films have been squandered by a poor script. And in the case for The Last Dance, the last film in this trilogy, it didn't feel like there was much at stake. We have consequences from the end of the second film. Venom and Eddie Brock are now on the run. We have their answers to the multiverse from the second film. But with them on the run, they immediately start taking these detours. Venom and Eddie Brock, and they start having these little side storylines that go on that really never amount to much. And so by doing that, you're deviating away from the actual plot of the film. And I lost track with how many times new characters were introduced, new storylines were introduced that really didn't even need to be there in the first place. When you take your main villain plot in the beginning with Null and going off of that, there really isn't much at stake. There isn't much to go off of. There isn't much that I found to be intense or entertaining when it came to our main villain plot. You really felt the absence of our villain within this movie and all of the creatures that are after Eddie Brock and Venom. And you just don't feel like there's any urgency. There's not any intensity rising throughout this film. You really could care less what the actual plot was. And so we start to move away from all of that. You start to introduce Rhys Ifans and Chiwetel Ejiofor and Juno Temple. You start to focus on those characters. You feel like the storyline is taken in these different directions, and it's really pulling itself apart when it really could have honed in on our major storyline and focus on all of that. I still think Tom Hardy is a good pick for Eddie Brock. I like him as a character. I like him as a person. Tom Hardy is great. And here he really focuses on that relationship between him and Venom. And it's a highlight in this movie once again. I still think that that relationship is, that back and forth works. I think that it does provide for some jokes within the movies. Sometimes they are very cringy and they just do not land. At times I found it to be funny, but for the most part in this third film, a lot of the jokes are cringy. What Venom actually wants and his desires, it's repetitive jokes that just do not work. And that bickering back and forth didn't provide any depth to the relationship. It felt very casual. With it being the last movie, they wanted us to kind of feel for these characters and their relationship, and there was no weight to that. There was no emotional beat to the end of this film and their relationship. And we spent three films with them now. I expected something deeper when it came to that relationship. I will say the third act of this movie is the best third act of the trilogy. And there was enough entertaining moments in the third act that I felt like it saved the movie. I enjoyed the third act with a lot of what they did, not showing it in the promotions and the trailers, really hiding away from what happens in the last part of the film. And so at least with the third act of this film, I'm able to get something different, something fun, and I really kind of enjoyed the vibe of the end of this movie. I thought it was cool what they did with the end of this movie and what it represented, especially in regards to Eddie Brock and Venom and their relationship and how they rely on each other. Just taking that and expanding on it. But there are so many moments in here I just rolled my eyes. If it's dancing or if it's the horse, so many moments just feel like it's just moving away from what could be a great premise and a really good story. Something that could have been really intense, especially with our villain, which was absent with most of the film. You really could have had an action-packed, emotional end to this trilogy, but instead you start to bring in certain storylines that really didn't do much, little side missions, side moments that go on with the story. It felt like it's taken too much of the time, and by the end of this movie, I was just happy it was over and the trilogy is over. Like I said, I like Tom Hardy. I like Venom as a Marvel character. The third act is decent, but it's just all over the place with no sense of urgency, nothing at stake, a storyline that's going in different directions constantly throughout, characters that didn't need to have any sort of background whatsoever. That's all in here, and it just was a mess of a film. So before I give you my score for Venom The Last Dance, make sure to check out my channel here. I do movie reviews, trailer actions, ranking videos, tier lists, all that fun movie related content that you see on YouTube. I do it all here, so hit that subscribe button to get it all in one spot. I'm going to go ahead and give Venom The Last Dance a C-. Thank you guys for checking out my review for Venom The Last Dance. Have you guys seen it by chance? What do you think about it? Let me know in the comment section down below, and stay tuned for more up and coming content like this. My name is Just Watches Movies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.